Brace yourselves, folks, because things just got intriguing up north. Canada, our usually friendly neighbor to the north, just made a move straight out of a political drama. They've shut down key access routes that the U.S. depends on to reach Alaska. Yes, you heard that correctly. Alaska, the state that's almost an island connected to Canada, is now looking a lot more isolated. This isn't just a friendly border dispute over a misplaced beaver dam. This is a significant geopolitical maneuver that has sent shockwaves through Washington and left experts scrambling. The internet, as you might expect, is having a field day. Memes about maple syrup sanctions and moose-mounted border patrols are already taking over Twitter. But behind the humor, there's a serious issue at hand. This decision has disrupted the historically friendly relationship between the U.S. and Canada. Remember all those heartwarming stories about Canadians opening their homes to stranded American travelers? Yeah, about that. Get ready for some awkward Thanksgiving dinners, because things are about to get real. Let's dive into what exactly Canada has done. We're referring to specific highways, railways, and even waterways that traverse Canadian territory, serving as vital links to Alaska. These aren't just scenic routes for tourists hoping to see a grizzly bear. They're essential pathways for transporting goods, resources, and people to and from the 49th state. Think of it like this. Imagine if your usually harmless neighbor suddenly decided to block your driveway. Annoying, right? Now, picture that your driveway is the only way to access your garage, where you keep your car, tools, and emergency snacks. That's essentially the predicament Alaska is in right now. The specifics of the blockade are still coming to light, but initial reports indicate that Canada is being very strict. There are checkpoints, increased patrols, and a mountain of red tape. It's a logistical nightmare, leaving businesses and officials scrambling for solutions. The pressing question on everyone's mind is, why? What could have prompted Canada to take such a drastic measure? This isn't just about Alaska's supply chain or America's bruised ego. It's about something far more significant, something that impacts not just the U.S., but the entire globe. This move has profound implications for the global order as we know it. The ripple effects could be felt worldwide, altering alliances and economic strategies. First, let's discuss trade. Trade routes are the arteries of modern economies, and Alaska is a crucial node in this network. The U.S. heavily depends on Canadian routes to transport everything from oil and gas to seafood and minerals. These resources are vital for keeping the American economy running smoothly. Disrupt that flow, and you have economic turmoil. Imagine the impact on industries, jobs, and daily life. Think skyrocketing gas prices, empty supermarket shelves, and a lot of frustrated Americans. The economic repercussions would be immediate and severe. Then there's the defense aspect. Alaska isn't just a remote outpost. It's a cornerstone in America's defense strategy. Alaska is a strategically vital region, home to key military bases that help protect North America. These bases are crucial for monitoring and responding to potential threats. By cutting off access, Canada is essentially weakening America's defense posture. This could have serious implications for national security. It's like leaving the back door to the continent wide open. The security risks are too significant to ignore. But perhaps the most significant aspect of all this is what it says about the shifting balance of power in the world. The geopolitical landscape is changing rapidly. For decades, the U.S. has been the undisputed leader, calling the shots on the global stage. Its influence has been unparalleled. But lately, things have been changing. New players are emerging and old alliances are being tested. China is on the rise, Russia is flexing its muscles, and even our friendly neighbor Canada is starting to assert itself. These nations are no longer content to play second fiddle. This whole Alaska situation is a sign that the old rules no longer apply. The dynamics of power are shifting, and everyone is trying to find their place in this new order. We're living in a multipolar world now, where even the friendliest of neighbors aren't afraid to play hardball. The stakes are higher, and the game is more complex than ever before. Section 4. Fireworks on Capitol Hill and Parliament Hill. Politicians react. As expected, the political response on both sides of the border has been nothing short of explosive. The airwaves are filled with intense debates and fervent speeches, as everyone seems to have a strong opinion on the issue. In Washington, lawmakers are outraged, with some advocating for sanctions against Canada and others calling for a decisive response. The halls of Congress are reverberating with passionate rhetoric as politicians rush to make their positions known. The discourse is fiery, with accusations of betrayal, disrespect, and even un-American behavior being hurled around like confetti at a political rally. It's a spectacle that has gripped the nation, with each side standing firm. Meanwhile, in Ottawa, Canadian officials are maintaining a resolute stance, asserting that this is about safeguarding their national interests. They are unwavering in their determination, presenting a united front to the world. They cite environmental concerns, border security, and the need to uphold Canadian sovereignty. These points are central to their arguments as they seek to justify their actions. But let's be honest, there's a sense that they're enjoying this power play. The confidence in their voices and the smiles on their faces suggest they are savoring the attention and the chance to assert their authority. Naturally, no political showdown would be complete without some fiery quotes from the key players. The media is having a field day, capturing every soundbite and dissecting every word. President Biden, known for his directness, labeled Canada's actions as unacceptable and pledged to defend American interests. His stern demeanor and forceful language left no room for doubt about his stance. Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau, in contrast, adopted a more diplomatic tone, stressing the importance of dialogue and finding a mutually beneficial solution. His approach was measured, yet firm. But beneath the diplomatic pleasantries, the message is clear. This is a significant rift between two longtime allies, and mending it won't be easy. The stakes are high, and the world is watching closely to see how this drama unfolds. Public opinion is split, with some backing their leaders' tough stances, while others call for cooler heads to prevail. Social media is buzzing with commentary, as citizens from both nations weigh in on the controversy. On the international stage, the situation is being closely watched. Global leaders are reacting, and diplomatic channels are abuzz with activity. The world is holding its breath, waiting to see if this conflict will escalate or if a peaceful resolution can be achieved. Section 5. Can this friendship be saved? The future of U.S. Canada relations. So, what lies ahead for the U.S. and Canada? Are we destined to be frenemies, forever glaring at each other across the world's longest undefended border? Well, it's not time to build that northern border wall just yet. Despite the current tensions, the U.S. and Canada remain deeply intertwined. We share a continent, an economy, and a love for overpriced coffee. The good news is that both sides have shown a willingness to talk. There are whispers of emergency summits, back-channel negotiations, and maybe even a cameo appearance by Drake to smooth things over. Hey, stranger things have happened. But let's be real, folks. This isn't going to be a quick fix. There are deep-seated issues at play here. Issues of trust, respect, and the evolving balance of power between our two nations. It's going to take time, patience, and a whole lot of diplomatic heavy lifting to get things back on track. In the meantime, get used to seeing more headlines about North American tensions and the end of the special relationship. Because this is one international incident that's far from over. Section 6. From Allies to Adversaries, a look back at U.S. Canada history. To understand our current situation, we need to revisit the past. The U.S. and Canada share a long and intricate history. We've been allies, competitors, and everything in between. We've fought wars side by side, though Canada often took a back seat. And we've squabbled over issues from fishing rights to who makes the best pancakes. Spoiler alert, it's Canada. Yet, despite our differences, we've always maintained a level of civility. We've signed treaties, built bridges, both literally and figuratively, and generally tried to be good neighbors. At one point, we even shared a head of state, though neither country is eager to claim King George III today. The current Alaska situation marks a significant shift from the norm. It suggests that the old rules of engagement may no longer apply. The world is evolving, and so are the U.S. and Canada. The question remains, can our relationship withstand this latest challenge? Section 7. What happens next? Possible solutions and global implications. So, what's the next move? That's the billion-dollar question, Or should I say, the billion loonie question? The future is a tangled web of possibilities, each path leading to a different outcome. But that doesn't mean we can't indulge in some speculation. After all, speculation adds spice to life, doesn't it? Let's explore some potential scenarios that could unfold. Here are a few possible scenarios, each with its own set of implications and consequences. Diplomacy triumphs. Cooler heads prevail. Biden and Trudeau meet for a friendly hockey game, discuss matters over some poutine, and reach a compromise that saves face for both sides. This scenario would likely strengthen U.S. Canada relations and set a precedent for resolving future disputes amicably. The U.S. imposes sanctions, Canada retaliates, and both economies suffer. This tit-for-tat could lead to a prolonged economic downturn, affecting not just the two countries, but also their trading partners. The situation escalates, with neither side willing to back down. Think trade wars, currency manipulation, and maybe even a few strategically placed tariffs on maple syrup. This could significantly disrupt global trade, affecting supply chains and consumer prices worldwide. A third party, like China or Russia, sees an opportunity to exploit the situation to their advantage. They might offer support to one side, further complicating the geopolitical landscape. Suddenly, the Alaska standoff becomes a proxy war between global superpowers. Things get real messy, real fast. This could lead to a military buildup in the region, increasing the risk of accidental confrontations and escalating tensions. Whatever happens, one thing is clear. The Alaska situation is a wake-up call for the U.S. and Canada. It's a reminder that even the most stable relationships can be tested under pressure. It's a reminder that even the closest of allies can have their differences, and that the global order is in a state of flux. The world is watching, and the actions taken now will have long-lasting implications. Buckle up, folks, because things are about to get interesting. The ride ahead is uncertain, but one thing is for sure. It will be a defining moment in the history of U.S.-Canada relations.